Hey guys, welcome back to Follow Me 11B. Discussions on current events, macroeconomics, and freedom and liberty from a veteran's perspective. Today, I wanted to talk about the ongoing crime wave sweeping the nation, particularly in urban centers, big cities all across America. So let's start by going straight to a California Globe news article written by Evan V. Simon entitled Violent Crimes Up 60% in LA according to latest LAPD data since 2019. According to the LAPD, citywide robberies are up 18% compared to this time last year and up 5% compared to 2020. Citywide robberies with a firearm also went significantly up, climbing 44% from this time last year, 57% from 2020, and 60% compared to 2019. Here's a quote from Chief Michael Moore. Over the course of this year, the department has experienced an increase in robberies taking place in various communities in the city of Los Angeles, the LAPD said in a press release on Tuesday. Most concerning is that there has been an increase in the levels of violence used during these robberies and the frequency in which a firearm was used. Chief Moore also said, "There's been a marked increase in armed robberies involving victims wearing expensive jewelry, as well as just other individuals, whether they're at commercial stores such as mini markets, convenience stores, gas stations, or on the street, aka muggings." Let's see here. Multiple factors are cited as the reason for the uptick in crimes, ranging from the cuts made to the LAPD following the George Floyd incident in 2020 to ongoing economic fallout from the COVID-19 pandemic. However, the largest cited factor has been LA County DA George Gascon. Since being elected in 2020, Gascon has instituted several criminal justice reforms, including ending policies that had juveniles tried as adults, many crimes being reduced to misdemeanors or having jail time reduced, and the removal of cash bail for most crimes, despite California voters voting to keep it in 2020 in Prop 25. LA crimes up compared to the previous years. With crime rates on the upswing since his election, Gascon has faced increasing heat for his policy actions. In January, a petition to recall Gascon was approved by the county, with supporters needing 566,957 signatures by July 6th to put his recall election on the ballot, likely to occur during the general election in November. As of mid-March, recall DA George Gascon has received roughly 125,000 signatures and is currently on track to get enough to put him on the ballot. A similar effort in San Francisco to recall DA Chesa Boudin for similar crime policy reasons succeeded last fall, with polls showing that Boudin recall is likely to succeed, with 68% of San Francisco voters currently for the recall less than 3 months out of the June election. So, moving on to one other article I came across of interest on the topic of crime. This is from Vox, by the way, Vox.com. It's entitled Crime Will Affect the Midterms, but Not in the Way You Think. And this is by Christian Paz, P-A-Z, from April 19th, 2022. Let's see here. So, I'll skip over to this section here. The last year's increase in violent crime is a challenge dominating many conversations about democratic governance. Property crime rates vary by city and have generally been trending down, but in 2021, violent crime, including assaults and murders, was up. Homicides rose 44% from 2019 and up 5% from 2020 in 27 cities. In that first pandemic year, homicides soared by a record amount. Because of where that crime is happening most, urban areas, The issue is likely to have a much greater impact in cities and states big and small. Democrats have moderated their tone on policing and veered into a tough on crime discourse, usually deployed by Republicans. They've also halted or reversed many of the progressive changes activists had spent the last decade calling for. New York State restricted its 2019 bail reform with new rules. Minneapolis funneled more money into its police department after cuts in 2020. Chicago wants to change its suspect monitoring program. Philadelphia and Los Angeles are debating how much to grow their police forces. Wow. As political issues, crime and public safety carry a heavier cost in local elections where policy is made and the voters most affected by and worried about crime are concentrated. With growing discontent with democratic governance in general, crime might just be one of a laundry list of Republican attacks. Yes, crime is a problem that has worsened. Homicide rates spiked in 2020. The Council on Criminal Justice concluded a report released this year mirroring rises in aggravated assaults up 4% and gun assaults 8% around the country as well. Not to mention the snatch and grabs that you've probably seen on the news, violent assaults, knockout challenges, etc. on social media, TikToks, etc. Virtually a new record for violent crime and shootings, gang-related mostly in Chicago, like every single weekend. Tens of thousands of people streaming across the southern border every week, which when you have this sheer volume of people, you're definitely going to get a component of these giant groups of people that are going to participate in crime, and of every block of crime, you're going to have a section of that crime block is going to be violent crime. So I don't see things getting any better anytime soon, unless things drastically change, and they might. My guess is things are going to drastically change at the chagrin of the Democratic governing bodies in these big cities, in these urban areas, and perhaps higher up the political scale as well. But I digress. Back to the article. Violent crime has been trending upwards in cities like Washington, up 28% since 2021. New York, major crime up 41% in the first 3 months of this year. Seattle up 20% in 2021. And Denver up 11% since 2021. Local and statewide races are where crime will be a defining factor. Let's move over to this section here. The tonal shift on how Democrats talk about crime and policing is more apparent the more local you look, and for good reason. That's the level where policy is determined and where voters may redirect most of their anger in punishing incumbents. Mayor Lori Lightfoot of Chicago followed with a speech calling for more federal prosecution in gun crimes and a moratorium on electronic monitoring of violent suspects. In New York, Eric Adams, 3 months into a job he won due in large part to his credibility on policing, argued that his tenure as mayor will be judged on crime and safety after this month's subway attack. He doubled down, saying that he would, quote, continue to do everything in my power to dam the rivers that feed the sea of violence. Well, okay. And the electoral fortunes of those governing at the state and local levels, then it's going to affect people. Basically, it's going to affect people at the state and local level, the crime issue, more than people running for Congress. Congress has got its own problems. Inflation, so on and so forth, Ukraine. But that's a topic for another issue or another video. But in my opinion, biggest problem is trying to water down criminal justice, trying to get rid of cash bail. That's a bad idea. when you tell people that if you do this crime, number one, we're not going to punish you. We're not going to prosecute you 9 out of 10 times. And number two, if we do prosecute you, we're going to give you bail, cashless bail. So we're just going to, put you through the revolving door of the police departments and get your fingerprints and send you on your way. And much like is happening at the southern border, we're going to give you some paperwork and say, show up at court on this particular day and have a nice day. Virtually no matter what it is. I mean, even some of these more violent crimes people are being let out for work release or so on and so forth, ankle monitors, etc. One other thing on the topic of crime and justice, SCOTUS news. As many of you know, on the 7th of April, Ketanji Brown Jackson was indeed confirmed by the United States Senate with a 53-47 vote, and she will succeed the retiring Justice Stephen Breyer this summer. Actually, she'll probably take over in October, I would assume, but because they're going to be going on recess, Breyer's going to continue the job until the next recess, which usually is late June, early July. They go on recess till October, the Supreme Court. So in October, expect to see a new look to the SCOTUS, and it will be featuring the newly confirmed and newly appointed Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson. So, one other thing I wanted to do real quick before we close out this video. I wanted to do a mailroom real quick because I got a package, and I got it from my good friends at Freedom Jerry the Sheep. So I figured I'd open this right now on camera and see what's happening. We have got some Freedom Jerry the Sheep merch. We've got some stickers, so awesome stuff here. FreedomJerryTheSheep.com. And thank you to, wow, thanks guys. My friend David over there sent me a Freedom Jerry the Sheep shirt. So I will be sure to feature this prominently in an upcoming video. Again, if you are not familiar with Freedom Jerry the Sheep, if you like news, if you like funny memes, and if you like the truth, visit Freedom Jerry the Sheep on Instagram and also FreedomJerryTheSheep.com. So, that's all for now. I would love to hear what you think about the status of crime in the United States as it stands today, and where you think it's going to go over the course of the next few months and through election season. So, in the meantime, please subscribe to this channel. We need all the subscribers we can get. Post your comments in the comment section below. And don't forget to visit us at Facebook and Twitter. Like us as well and follow us at FollowMe11B. And don't forget to also visit us now on Rumble, in addition to Instagram, but on Rumble and Instagram both at The Real Follow Me 11B, and we will see you all on the next video.